All right, folks, so here we are. I apologize, but these colors are just a no-go for me. You know why. It's just both colors are just, it's just a no-go for me. So we'll have to switch these up a little bit. Here we go, cool. Hardy will probably edit that out as well, so we could now get into it and do our intro. Now, welcome in, everybody. We've got some Warlords 5 action, and we've got a map with a lot of food in the middle. Warlords is 9 villagers start, so things happen a little bit faster here. And we've got Barles in the blue, and we've got Andy in the red. Now, both these players were underdogs in their first sets, and they won. FreakinAndy beat Winchester 3-2, which was an amazing result, and he'll look to continue that. And Barles beat Yo 3-1. Now, in this format, the winner of this series goes directly to the quarterfinals, which essentially means they get a bye. And also might get favorable draw in terms of what players they play against. So this would be a huge victory for whoever wins this. Again, I just want to say sorry because like you guys are hungry for content, and at least what I'm told is you guys really enjoy the streams and the videos and the casts. Just because of the schedule of this event combined with like life and stuff for me, I haven't covered much of it. Just how things have panned out. I also will miss the final week of this. Be the first final like S tier I've missed. In like years. So I've got a bachelor party with friends, like a little wedding trip. So sorry about that. You know, there's always that one guy out there who's going to just make massive rash assumptions based on no facts whatsoever. So, you know, in case for that one guy's out there already claiming that there's some big, bold reason T90 hates 9 villager starts. T90 hates the whole... T90 doesn't value us. Rah, rah, rah. You know, it's not like that. Okay, it's not like that. It's just life happens, and I'm gonna cast some sets while I can, and that is it. All right. So we got Andy. Andy's gonna click up. Andy's plan is most definitely man-at-arms. The fish here, there is important as anything else on the map. Like they're sorry, more important than anything else on the map. Just double click the fish. We've got 25k food there, and villagers, not only do you not need to invest a lot to taking the fish because it's just 100 wood for the mill and then there's just 1,000 or 2,000 food around it, it's also faster than farms. So basically, if you're building farms, you're behind in this map, except for way later in the game. And because you have this consistent food income, the fastest way to spend and hit with that food is infantry. So this map is always dominated by infantry. So Andy is going to make... Seems like he's going to make man-at-arms. And Bulgarians get the free man-at-arm upgrade. So we're going to see some militia on the way. In Barl's case, Barles is going to play towards donjons and sergeants. So he can't actually produce the military until he makes it to feudal age. This is up, though. And this is nice because this actually will protect him. It won't fire arrows until he's in feudal, but he's almost in feudal. So I think Sicilians are one of the best civs on this map. I think Bulgarians are top 5. I would put Sicilians, honestly, I'd put them at number 1. I really think if you get the timings right, the man-at-arm pressure can't hit you. Like, look, this pressure from Andy is supposed to do damage, and now it's just like, boom, protected. And sergeants, they're ever so slightly faster than the man-at-arms. They have better base stats. I like the setup so far for Barles. And eventually, he might want to make his way out to the stone, and then he could actually use the sergeants to build more donjons. The other thing that makes this awkward for Andy is Andy can't play crossbow. So if you want to counter mass infantry, sometimes you play into archers. Bulgarians do not get access to crossbowmen. So even starting with archers is not something that you can justify as easily. Barles feels like he has enough to defend here with the donjon fire and the sergeants here. And now he's going to run in this way, where Andy is prepping his own tower and going for the archer range. So far, I really like the start for Barles, though. I like the fact that he's immediately moved forward to get some damage. That's good, understanding he needs to be patient and that the tower is about to complete. But these sergeants are everywhere right now. And I just don't think that this is really what Andy would have wanted. He wanted to get value before this happened, before the donjon went up, but the build order was already so sharp for Barles. Again, the good news for Andy is, like, most of your villas are going to be here. I actually love he put his lumber camp here, too. So Barles put his lumber camp over here. Technically, that's exposed. So I think there's an argument to have just everything near that donjon. The gold is exposed back here, though. And I think that's what Barles is thinking about. But you don't want to be, like, super fixated on denying the gold because the food's still really valuable. I think when he gets the stone, you can see he's walking to the stone right now. Like, you can just start to build a donjon here, and then Andy kind of has to send some pressure over. Andy's going to run around this way. Carpin, welcome. Says, hello, first time from YouTube, first time seeing live. Hi, I'm news in chat for Carpin. Welcome. Funny, we have another Carpin here. So we've now got 2 Carpins. Slightly different spelling, of course. Welcome. Thanks for making it. I was just saying I'm really pumped about some of the new YouTube videos that are going to be coming up soon. Last night I got in a creative funk. Might have had something to do with the coffee I drank, but, you know, I recorded videos to, like, midnight last night and had some fun ones. Only in one of them I embarrassed myself massively. Because I... so I had played a game where I went missionaries, and in the game, I was getting the armor upgrades for them, but I got the wrong armor upgrades. And then in the cast, I actually forgot which armor upgrades apply. It's a whole thing. So when you see the video, you'll understand. But I decided not to edit it out. I just had I guess I had a double brain fart because I was confused in game and I was also confused while casting. It's like I didn't trust myself. 0 units have died in this game. And it seems like Barles hasn't really found any value for all of his military. He can't win any of these fights very easily, but he hasn't lost any fights. And Barles hasn't been able to force any engagements. And Andy just kind of relaxed here, has walled up the backside. But how many fish does he actually have in here? It looks like maybe he's only got about 800 food left in these walls. And here comes Barles with a donjon. Back here, Barles also cleared this up. He did lose a villager on the wood line. But this is where you're on the way to the next stage. You want food. And now you're running out. I guess we need to start counting fish here. Well, there's about 800 food. It can be slightly idled. But let's just click everything that he can realistically take. Oh, God, I clicked a villager. I'm going to say it's roughly like 1,000 food in there, which obviously is a lot. And if he were to make man-at-arms right now, maybe with the free longsword upgrade could be an option. I actually think what he's going to try is he's going to try and drop a crepost. But I don't know if you could fit a crepost in here. The crepost is pretty wide. More sergeants are looping around this way. Barles obviously understands. Like, Andy's on the way to Castle Age now because Andy's basically been doing nothing. But Andy is about to have the full force of the military from Barles moving in here. I actually think he should have stonewalled this. But Andy's really good at calculating how to defend. I think the important thing is not only building the crepost so you can get units out, but also like where the crepost is to protect your resources, right? I know I said you shouldn't farm on this map, but I actually like the occasional farm getting mixed in, just in case you do get pushed off of this. Sneak archers there from Andy. I think Andy wanted to... Well, I don't know what he wanted to do, but he's sitting underneath the donjon there. But surely Barles is going to realize that. And if Barles realizes that, Andy's just going to lose those archers. Yeah, that's a man right there who knows he can't get crossbowmen. He tried to get some value. Nice walls from Barles, because the archers could have actually gone to the wood line. And, all right, here's the crepost here. Now, that's an interesting spot. Crepost is stronger than a donjon, but, like, Andy, this is a little risky because the villagers could just garrison here. Andy's so good at keeping vills alive, though. And sergeants running around. Villagers are weak. So many villagers have been hit, but the second they're hit, Andy pulls them away. Wow, that's actually insane. This is what Andy... This is so unique to Andy. Look at that. Those villagers are weak. He didn't lose a single one. And now he can garrison his donjon. Or his crepost, rather. And now he can shoot down the donjon. And then he has access to the food eco that Barles has here. And again, I just wonder if maybe the Barles could have gone for the gold or the stone or something. But for reasons we explained, like, the food is really big on this map. And Barles is about to hit Castle Age. When he's in Castle Age, the sergeants get a stat increase. He'll drop a town center here. I don't know about that, though, dude. Like, I don't think he's expecting that Andy is going to have the resources to build another crepe post. And Barles has to get some quick walls and some damage control here. That TC is obviously going to go up. But that's crepe post number 2. And Conics are a pretty strong unit. You could tell Barles is a little rattled by this. TC will complete very quickly, though, with the Sicilians. And he won't lose too many vills. He's going to lose 2. But well played to Andy. Barles hasn't really been able to use the military in the way that he wanted. And now we've got a completely different unit out here. The blacksmith upgrades reaches very quickly. It'll be full armor. And the crepos give so much space and time for Andy. I really like Andy's position now. If Barles didn't have the walls, though, this would have been 10 times worse. So credit to him for that. These units can't break through. And there is still the army back here, and Andy doesn't have that much military. Telling you, when you watch Andy play Age of Empires 2, he makes as little as possible. And that can be the theme for many players, but like Andy especially. He goes low army. He'll go for fortifications and like town centers and monks a lot. Again, still can't break in. Here comes Barles. He's dropping the donjon here. It's not every day that we have 2 different castle/tower buildings in the same game. So I think I'm misspeaking sometimes and calling a donjon a crepe post and a crepe post a donjon. Like, look at Andy just sneak over here. I don't think Barles is ever expecting that. This town center is going to go down eventually for Barles. And there's the town center going up for Andy, and it almost feels like he wants another crepe post. And yeah, he will sneak a crepe post up over there to control more food. That's huge. Yeah, in my opinion, this map is all about just how much of the fish do you control. And so when I zoom out and look at this, it's going to be Andy. Sicilians have a farming bonus, sure, but like this map is not dominated by farms. It's dominated by who has the fish. Sergeants are on Andy's gold over here. Andy still hasn't lost another vill. He lost 1. Okay, now I've jinxed it. Now he's going to lose 2. Now he's going to lose a couple more. He miscalculated. But I think he's trying to escape over here to this crepe post and just made a mistake there. Needed to stay here a little bit longer. Yeah, Bulgarians are good here because, and Sicilians actually, because like their weakness is lack of like strong early eco bonuses. But on this map, you have the eco given to you in the middle, and then you can play towards their military bonuses. And again, nice stubborn play here from Barles. I actually think this is huge, guys. Finally building this in the back, and then also keeping this up is actually crazy. That might be the difference in this game. This should be gone. The unit should not be producing here. Andy just left this way too early, and Barles is now repairing it. Wow. Makes it interesting, though, because Barles can't move this way, and he doesn't even know he can't move this way. And he's about to still only be on 2 TCs, and it will be 3 for Andy. But Andy can't take his gold in the back. He can move over to this gold, but Barles will probably look to that gold. And if he sees this, he can chase down the vills. Over here, we have more villagers going down as well. This is super, 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 super messy here. Yeah, Conics need to make a decision on where they go, but they're all really weak, and they want to heal up. Unfortunately, sergeants are slow. Barles needs to build a barracks here, guys, to get squires. This is where not having to build the barracks to make an infantry unit kind of hurts you, because you need that tech. Oh, man, Andy. I guess he's producing villagers from this town center, and there's no really place to go without being spotted there. See, look, Andy doesn't actually want to fight this. He's acting like he'll fight this. And then the presence of the monk will scare the units off. Long term, I'm not really sure which civilization is better in Imp. I can tell you that there's a viewer here who made the claim that Barles will win 3-0 and that Andy will never make it to the Imperial Age. Rumors are this individual is from Poland, so there might be some slight bias, but I don't know if those rumors are true. Swagger says, what idiot said that? You. You did. But honestly, it's looking pretty good for your claim so far, because this has been a high-pressure game. Again, the fish, I guess I should check now. There's 14k food left. So we are slowly getting to the point where farms actually become important. If Barles can complete these dungeons, though, and Barles can also get Bodcanero, these dungeons are going to be really, really strong. This one's still only at 50%, though. I think this one could be denied. Meanwhile, this one's up. And importantly, that takes Andy off of gold. So Andy can't take gold. And he can't take any of these golds back here. These dungeons being around his base is a problem. Bulgarian monks aren't very strong, but, I mean, they're still good enough to get conversions. They just don't get, like, some of the other monk techs you might want in other situations. What a weird, chaotic game right now. But this actually completed here. And Barles monks still following the units as Andy backs away, and a monk goes down to the town center. Here goes another dodge. And again, look at the lack of upgrades here for Barles. Bodkin's going to be in, but I really like to see armor and attack for these sergeants. If he can get that, I think he can start to win these fights. There he goes. I also saw he was building a university, so he might want to get murder holes or ballistics here. These sergeants are kind of holding their own. You got to consider the cost, too, of the conics. The conics are way more expensive. And forget what I said. They're not holding their own at all. Actually, Andy gets a pretty nice clear there. Initially, it looked really nice. I think the fact that you can always produce a couple more of them, and the fact that the sergeants like also are firing on things is nice. There's the ballistics upgrade. Guys, get ready. We're going to see a castle. Sicilian castles build faster. And these villagers are all right here. So I think Barles wants to build a castle. You can't build on the fish. He probably needs to build it here. There is gold around the map. There are places for Andy to go. So he can always find another gold. It's not like he has no gold. And he also built a Krepos tier, which will pressure Barles a little bit. There goes Barles with the castle. Andy's military is all taking down these dungeons. So he doesn't have the military here to deny this castle. That castle is definitely going up. And again, they're slowly running out of fish, and neither player has invested into many farms. I know that, like, for pros, it seems like a noob tech, but murder holes needs to happen here. I think murder holes is actually more valuable than ballistics in this instance. I think with murder holes, maybe some of these dungeons stay up for Barles. Maybe now it's not needed because he doesn't have too many of them, but... Castle goes up at least. We might end up seeing First Crusade. I don't think it's worth it, though. We have another Krepos tier for Andy. Andy is a 20 villager lead here. And if that Krepos goes up, that could push the wood line and the gold away for Barles. If Barles has got to move this direction. But if he moves this direction, Andy's starting to camp these resources. Andy going after this dungeon. That won't work out. What a game. Andy with a lot more vills, though. And a lot more map control. All coming down to these Krepos. Crazy. Why would murder holes be a noob tech? Well, it's just something that noobs get a lot. And for pros, they think they don't need murder holes because they're like, if I don't have the army to defend a structure, I'm dead anyways. That's essentially how pros see it. Guys, I think Barles is in trouble. Barles is in big trouble. He had so much military in feudal age, he wasn't able to stop the Krepos. Andy engaging from the backside here, killing off a bunch of the monks. He does lose a couple units, but Andy's doing a great job. There is a find over here for Barles, though. But man, these Krepos just constricting Barles off the food eco. And then Barles is going to have to farm. And guess what? If you have to farm on this map, you're dead. Because it's just so much investment. The food in the middle is so much more important. If anything, you can farm if you're Andy now because you're ahead with the fish control, so you could justify like taking that long-term approach, which he's going to start to do now. Barles needs military to push this back. It's not going to be easy. Would actually like to see Andy, as Barles is expanding to the north, I like to see Andy think about Imp. Either Imp or maybe just like full army with Rams or something, but... You've got a lot of control right now and a lot of food eco. I think Imp would make sense. Get a castle, get Trebs. You do that, and then you can really push these buildings. But already such a good game here from Andy. Nice hold. It's just so nice. I still think Sicilians are superior civ, but that's if you can use the early game bonuses. And Andy's just kind of the expert at staying alive. Ram is... slowly pushing down the market and the blacksmith over on this side. Buildings that will be valuable for Barles, so he'll have to rebuild those. Barles has found some good Vil snipes. considering how little map control he has. And that's been the left-hand side. This is just a couple units he's converted, getting snipes, and Andy's not able to notice that. Andy's resources are looking really good. Okay, where's the guy who said Andy would get swept and never make it to Imp? Can I get a vibe check? Give me your thoughts on your prediction in this current moment. In game 1, by the way. How you feeling? He's getting technologies. He's maybe not going to the Imperial Age. He is going to get the university up. We might see murder holes and ballistics for him. Barl's still attacking things on the sides, which Andy needs to notice. And Barl's got a couple conversions back here. 125 villagers versus 90, though. And I think we are about to see Imperial Age click for Andy. Which TC will it be in? I mean, maybe this TC could get sniped by some random military or something, but unlikely. It is weak, though. And Andy is going to go Imperial Age in another town center there. And it looks pretty likely he's going to make it to Imp here. Yeah, Barles still has random units sniping things, so maybe the awareness isn't perfect from Andy, but it's a really chaotic map. And he's actually ram pushing here. That's a pretty significant amount of damage done on the castle. He won't end up taking it down. And he does need stone, though. If Andy doesn't get stone for a castle, he can't make trebs. And actually, Barles does have trebs. Or the ability to make trebs because he's got these castles. And the castles have stayed up. I mean, Andy's surely going to realize this and find stone at some point. Yeah, he's going to just go to this stone now. I think there's an argument for Andy to just not make as many expensive units if you're going to be losing so many. Like, mixing in some Lycav could be good to raid back here, because if you lose them underneath buildings, it's kind of whatever. But you're not able to think about it that way. And actually, it's harder to get to stables than it is to just keep spamming out of these Crepos, because you have so many Crepos naturally anyways. And big raids from Andy again. Oof, amazing raids. Mobility's so important, right? I just don't think sergeants are good for the cost, but sergeants are not good in the numbers that we're seeing right now. There's a big question on if you want to make them at all. Another ram comes in here from Andy. He's still attacking this castle, and it's working. And Barles will be an imp. That'll be like the one moment where he feels like maybe he's got an advantage here. He will take down the ram again. Castle here will do a lot of damage, but I still think he's going to lose this castle. And now he sees Andy's in imp as well, and he might not be able to believe it. Another castle here from Barles. The first treb is out. That treb will go for these Crepos, I'm sure. Andy has transitioned into farms now, so at least he's got 34 farms on the map. So now that the fish is almost gone, he's fine. And Andy wins game 1 in the Imperial Age. Sorry, Swagger. Again, he made a bold prediction. I respect the fact it was a bold prediction. But yeah, that's a big win here for Andy. I mean, long series. I still expect this to maybe go to 5 games. But we felt like, or my statement was, I favor Barles because Barles is slightly better at the open maps. This is a pretty open, aggressive map. And Andy won game number 1. So that is a perfect start for Andy. Also, Bulgarians on his Civ draft was a late pick. So it wasn't like his best strategy here or anything. And he just got the job done. More wood, more food, more gold collected there from Andy. And for me, the difference was feudal age. You go back and just look. This is military population. Look. Like, this is crazy. The majority of the game, it's all Barles with military population. But he wasn't able to do anything with it. Because Andy walled up nicely. And then, of course, played defensively once he was in Castle Age. So, like, Andy's just so good at that. And you could actually combine this with economy population. So it says, like, behind in military, behind in military, behind in military, and then slightly creeps ahead in eco. And then once the eco starts to kick in, obviously creeps ahead in military. That is the Andy special. All right, guys. They're doing the thing with the colors again, which means I have to do the thing to fix it. And we've got game number 2. And there was a lot of Vil fighting there. It doesn't look like anything big happened, but... it's 9 villagers start, so things start off ever so slightly faster. Barles is trying to push in all the hunt that he can. We see this a lot on this map. And Andy has gone for a super early mill. And he's tried to prevent the opponent from pushing in these resources. Yeah, Andy's actually had a really nice start here. But you got to stop even this from being brought in. Yeah, Barles wants to push the food. And Andy's denying it. Dude, this is so good. This is so good. Usually the player, from what I've seen, will get like 4 or 5 underneath the TC before the other guy gets here. Andy's here right away. I actually think you can get here right away because of a 9 villager start. And the 3 villager start, you can't bring any villagers forward. So the 9 villager start makes this much easier. Oh, God. And Barles is going to lose the scout now, too. Barles has no food underneath the TC. This is horrible for Barles. Because you want, like, a bunch of food. You want super fast feudal. And then you can go low food and play archers. But you need the food to go feudal. Look at Andy. Like, Andy's delayed his lumber camp to go for the mill approach. But that's fine here. He's taken some wood from the straggler trees. He'll move over this way to place the lumber camp now. I like that Barles has just run away with his scout because there's no way he'll save it now. But that scout's going to die. Barles has to come to the middle, I think. He has no choice but to maybe fight it back. I also don't even think he'll know Andy's approach because he never got to move out with the scout. And Andy, I think wisely, after this is really smart. So initially the strategy was to make militia to deny this, but he realizes I don't need that because, like, I've already done the job. So now he's just going to click feudal age. And he sees a couple villagers are out here. He's going to fight this back with his own vills. And Barles will get the food to click up, but again, Barles does not have nearly as much food eco. So he can't go for militia if he wants to. And Andy does have the food eco, so he will. Andy needs some vills on gold. They'll go to gold right now. Andy's playing really solid so far. Guys, if I were betting with my hard-earned channel points, and don't say this is rigged if I'm wrong, I would put my hard-earned channel points on Andy right now. Because this start has been really smooth. I'm curious on the eco transitions for Barles. He's done a good job. He's gone back here. The berries is safe. And he is melee, so he should be in feudal age a bit faster. Well, no, well, hold on. Our channel points... Can you change your bets now, or is it too late? Because actually, Barles is up really fast. And he only has 2 militia. Barles still can't get man-at-arms. You do get the armor upgrade for free, though. Nice hit there from Andy. Still doesn't have the 3rd militia. Barles stacks up very nicely there. But Andy loves to vill fight, and Andy pushes it back for now. T90 did his dirty. Well, we'll see. Don't... So, one's in chat if you remember my series in Sudden Disaster on this map against Sorokuma. I played against Sorokuma. My strat was to deny this. But Sorokuma was able to push in like a 2nd or 3rd zebra. And I wasn't able to deny that food income, right? But here, and I didn't realize it until I clicked for me there with Andy. 9 villager starts, you can deny immediately if you bring a vill forward. You can't do that in a 3 vill start. So, anyways, it just, the first time, because I've tried it, and I've seen a bunch of players try to fully deny the food there. But it's the first time I've seen someone deny that many deer pushes. Or, sorry, zebra or something. Tower's up in the middle. More man-at-arms will come out from Andy. Doesn't have an archer range or anything yet, but he could always do that. Of course, Barles doesn't know exactly what's happening because he doesn't have the scout, but he'll add the archer. I mean, you could spend a lot of time trying to shoot every ostrich and zebra in the middle, but that's going to take a while. And Barles is still running around here, and Andy realizes, let's not chase with everything now that these are weak. And Andy sees the archers, and Andy can now have the archer range up for some skirms. But yeah, I mean, Barles is doing what he can. If Andy's still here in 10 minutes' time, the zebras will have withered away into the grounds. So that's hurting the food eco. I really wonder, though, what's the play here for Barles once Andy mixes in some skirms? What would you switch into? Switching back into man-at-arms could be one option. Going into scouts doesn't feel like the best of options up against, as the melee, just because you don't have very good scouts. Blacksmith for Barles is getting delayed here, which Andy will know that means the upgrades are denied. But Andy got housed, and the archers are coming this way, so Andy might have to chase a little bit. Honestly, the start was good from Andy. The execution, it could have been better here. He's had the food income. There's no reason he should have the idle TC except for getting housed. I don't think he really should have been surprised by this either. He saw the archer range a long time ago. He was just late on skirm production. So perhaps that trend for Andy where he just likes to be late to army is hurting him here. We've already seen in both games. It's not necessarily the army you make. It's what you do with it when you do damage with it. And nice walls from Barles as he loses the house there. Andy has the skirms at home to defend. Now Andy should have really big skirm numbers, though. And the army for Barles is only 7 archers. Against skirms with upgrades, you're not going to be able to do too much until you either mix in another unit or strengthen your archers by getting to Castle Age. Armor upgrades in on the man-at-arms. All the archers are at home. This is where Andy needs to get his skirms here. Still a bit of paranoia about this army, and he can't find it. More men-at-arms coming this way from Andy. T90, does skirms and towers work? If yes, is it worth it? Putting skirms inside of the tower does not make them fire extra arrows, no. I see a lot of people think they do, but they don't. And also, at the highest level, you don't want to make army to just sit inside of a tower, so I think for Andy, he needs to use his skirms offensively. It's crazy to me how long it's taken him to get skirms here. Like, this full wall from Barles could be denied. I think Andy has an opportunity, and now we're seeing it. And Barles has gone way too far forward. Oh, my God. That's horrible for Barles. Like, he's playing Castle Age timing, and he runs his archers right into that. Now, he does have the other army over here, but Andy's resources looking good for Castle Age. And if Andy remembered this could lead to some Vil kills over here as well, and these man-at-arms are going to be knocking on the door. Really like Andy's position. I'm not sure what I would do if Barles here. I think I'd try and get Castle Age and I'd play elephants. But against Goths that have all this food in the middle, it can be really complicated. Andy knew those archers would show up again, so he's got the skirmishers there. And he's just taking down these houses, and he could be in. Anything Barles will defend with can be matched by those skirms if the micro's there. Andy will have to pull away, but Andy's busy at home. Barles, that initial army comes back. Andy distracted. Nice job there from Barles. And might even be able to get another villager killed. The skirms are still around, but they went after the other archer army. And there he's chasing down another one. This is 2 maps to start the series where you just have, like, you can just build a couple mills in the middle and have so much control of food. And it's really worked out for Andy. And he's got 20 military against 6. Such a good army lead. And 2 of the military units for Barles are these super weak units. So now they're out. Now he's down to 5. Andy will have so many skirmishers. And he can go longsword as well. And longsword could just break down the buildings. Really tough position for Barles. Barles is slightly ahead in Vils because he's melee. And you spend way less time researching the next stage. He also has had less idle TC time. But these farms take time for payoff. And it just doesn't feel like it's as efficient and as fast as you need. The hunt is slowly disappearing here. But Andy's going to be through, man. Andy's going to be through. Like, the siege is here. Longsword upgrade will be in. These buildings are going to start to go down. Like, honestly, Barles might not even be able to complete his blacksmith upgrade. It's that bad. This blacksmith will go down so fast. Which means no bodkin. Which means your skirms are even worse than it would have been in the first place. He's going to go for elephants. Elephants is a good play here. It's probably his best play because he needs a tanky unit that's cheap. And that's what the elephant is for the melee. Oh, man. Bodkin arrow denied at 92%. That's so painful. I don't know if 2 elephants is necessarily enough here against this number of longswordsmen. Longswordmen are okay there. Now, I am wondering if, like, if Barles holds and Andy ever counterattacks. Imagine, like, an elephant here. Does Andy have the eco transitions? The previous game, you stay on the food in the middle for so much longer. Here, the hunt is slowly disappearing. So you do need to farm much faster here. Elephants will scare Andy off. Andy's going to scare him into monks. He's already got the monks here. I think he could have forced it there, but also you could easily throw the game. And you are in a commanding lead at the moment. At least with, like, the map control, right? So I like the thought process to back up. But things might get complicated. He's trying to break in with 2 separate groups here. And one group's going to break in just to find a monk, and the elephants are still there. Here, his mangonel's being attacked. And the mangonel's going to go down to that elephant. That's actually not bad for Barles. Elephant goes down, but the elephant's cheaper than a mangonel. Andy's longswordsmen might end up being found here. But they will end up being found. There's no might about it. And the only positive for Andy is that the elephants are in the back. So they're not going to challenge him any. Nice walls from Barles, and Barles stabilizes. And Barles has the farms, and Andy does not. You can't actually just go for another mill. You can go full mill economy, no farms on this map. Berries is slower than Hunt, but still, it's probably worth it. I think Andy needed to keep his longswords, but trying to break in there didn't end up working out. I think he just needed to keep all of his army on the front and try and use it to protect the siege there. So town center starting to be attacked here from Barles. There's the town center for Andy on the back. This is where Andy's micro is going to need to be on point because it gets so much harder to micro while also trying to fix your eco simultaneously, right? So, like, keep an eye on it. I expect his micro to be solid because it's Andy. But in theory, it gets very difficult now because you're looking back at home, you're setting your rally points, you're adding farms, you're fixing vills. You weren't doing that before. Army situation still seems like so commanding, though, for Andy. It's not easy for Barles to engage against this. Here he's going for conversions. Now, that might be a fake right there. He actually converts the pikeman. That could have made Andy think that redemption was in for those monks. The fact that it's a pikeman converted, though, tells Andy that that's obviously not redemption because he would have converted the siege. Here we have a monk running away. That monk is going to end up dying. Ballistics is actually in for Barles, but does ballistics help you here? I guess it does help you get a couple snipes here. I'm not totally convinced ballistics is the biggest deal when your opponent already has siege. Barles is expecting there to be a lot of vills here. The vills are moving over to the left side where there's still some hunt. I think Barles needs his own siege, and the siege is on the way. Again, Andy's got a lot to worry about right now. He's got the eco to manage. He's got this army to deal with, and he hasn't seen siege yet. And that is the opportunity there for Barles. That is textbook. You go for a counterattack and then siege defense from the darkness. That is super well played. Oh, no! But the mangonel wandered underneath the TC, and the mangonel's hitting his town center, end up getting some splash damage on it, and now his mangonel's dead, and now the TC's going to go down. This could still be a problem for Andy, but the army can now run in here, and Barles is going to lose his town center. And he's also going to lose the wheelbarrow town center, and a couple monks as well. Nice job from Andy. Now, if there's no town center back here, these elephants wreak havoc. The town center is there. Skirms actually pushed back out here from Barles. Andy having to look at home right now, but the TC's garrison, it has Bodcanero. Those elephants, they don't have armor, so they can't stay. The monks are around for Andy too to convert the elephants and save the siege. There's pikemen as well. Can Barles get a big shot? He can't. And everything is just falling flat here for Barles. The rumors are that Barles will blame this on the Twitch chatter who predicted that he would stomp Andy 3-0. And hold on. Rumors are that Barles is no longer blaming that Twitch chatter, because that was a really big shot. It's such a funny little counterattacking army from Barles, but it's so important. I think Andy just needs to... At this point, you're on 3 town centers. You've taken down your opponent, the only TC you've seen from your opponent. You can push, But actually, you're just in chill and boom mode. You're just like, hold this position and you win. The Goths are very dangerous. And so if you get to the late game against any civ, you can dominate. And yeah, all the signs are there that Barles just has no economy here. No town center there. Villagers here on a lumber camp instead of a town center. Andy's going to try and get a couple knights to deal with this. His eco's inefficient, but he does still have the worker lead. Yeah, there's the town center there from Barles. So at least he'll have that. And the knights... Not enough, actually, to deal with this. But who knows? Maybe if the random pikeman gets a hit. There's a lot to look at right now. I think also Barles is distracted. Now he'll notice this. Yeah, I don't think you clear that. You need probably 2 more knights there if you're Andy. Or a monk to go home or something. Barles has enough stone for a castle. Big moment. Oh! Those 3 mangonels are stacked on top of each other between the trees. They were anyways. That could have been bad. I was already seeing the YouTube short there. I'm so greedy for short content. Oh, no. Oh, no! That is not how that was supposed to go. Barles, I thought, had an opportunity to kill 3, and he loses 2. Oh, God. He will drop a castle there, but that's not where he wanted the castle, right? He wanted that castle further forward. But that's as good a castle as you're going to get here. And making Karambit warriors can still be pretty good. And now Andy can't push you anymore. And Andy might actually run forward for his own castle, which gets extremely risky if Karambits can come out. If Barles comes back, these 2 elephants and 3 skirms were the MVPs. Okay, so now the elephants are dead. Sad times, but still, that was impressive. Okay, Andy didn't see that castle, but he's going to castle over here anyways. Wow. Which Barles doesn't expect. Barles is going over this way with a couple units. Barles needs to deny this castle, but can he? Nope. There he can't. Karambits come in. Andy sees it. Andy's bringing enough vills as well. Andy's castle's going to go up, guys. Barles just doesn't have the economy. And how often do you say that? Like, Malay almost always have the eco lead. They have a guaranteed villager lead if like, the eco KD is even, typically. But it hasn't been an even game because Andy was able to place so many mills on the hunt in the middle and make so much military and do so much damage to Barles. Now, here's the downside of playing forward castle. Your eco's still exposed if you're Andy. But another town center will go down for Barles, which will put him back to 2 TCs instead of 3 here in a second. Andy can make a couple units to deal with this, just like before. And now I think Andy's eco is really cooking, too. He has better eco upgrades. He does lose the knight to a conversion there. But more berries, more gold found here. I just think he needs to focus on some farms. And after he clears this, I think he'll focus on some farms. He's actually playing cav archers now, which sounds a little silly as the Goths, but I think is pretty logical. You're up against like monks and infantry, and you need some mobility. Making Huskarls against Karambits doesn't feel great. And you already have all the ranged upgrades, so like going full cav archers is actually perfect for now. It's getting a little sloppy here for Andy, right? Like, you still seeing villagers run around. These counterattacks have definitely messed him up a little bit. But he got 4 relics, guys. 4. How? 100 villagers. Like, how? And, yeah, CA should be able to track this. Ballistics is in, too. And, yeah, with Ballistics being in, Andy would have to make some pretty big mistakes not to kill these Karambits quickly. And I think there's just no way back for Barles. Look at Andy. He knows. Couple house walls there. Karambits will still run through to try and do something. The cav archers, once husbandry is in, will be much faster. And down here, Andy will lose the siege. Who cares about that? Sorry to any siege weapons watching. I care about you, but Andy shouldn't care about the siege anymore. It's just all about the eco and the cav archers now. And in a closer game, you could make a switch into skirms or archers of your own if you're Barles, and it's pretty natural for your civ to go for those. But the eco is just not really that close, is it? Again, bow saw's in. Food, the amount on food for Andy alone, 38 versus 21. That's still not a lot of farms, but it doesn't matter. And I think soon Andy's going to build another castle as well. I think he'll have a castle maybe in his base so he doesn't have to keep chasing down these units. Yeah, Karambits are just not a good unit against Cav Archers. That's all there is to it. I haven't seen Barles kill a single Cav Archer, and so it's going to be like 30, 40 CA just patrolling all around the map. He has to make a switch. And here he goes. He's going to go Rams. Now, Cav Archers can't take down Rams very quickly. So this has some strength to it. Still looking. I mean, Barles is trying to find all the different areas where Andy's expanded his food eco. Pretty wild how it's 2 back-to-back games where Andy just drops mills and TCs on food with no farms. I think it's a real strength of his. Like, he has really delayed transitioning into farms, but he doesn't need it because there's just berries everywhere. He'll see the Rams now, but he could mix in some Knights or maybe some Huskarls now that you see the Rams. He does have some Cav Archers here raiding. He's also even got these skirmishers in the back raiding too. And villagers are going down big time. Barles probably just a bit shocked at the moment. Andy looking really well prepped for these maps. And we'll have his 2 home maps remaining too. So he'll be up 2-0 with 2 home maps remaining. Andy 1 win away. Well, I guess technically this game isn't over yet. But pretty soon, if I'm correct, and he wins this game, he'll be 1 win away from going directly to the quarterfinals. Was Barles the favorite? I think so, yeah. I think Barles was the favorite. But it's an interesting series because Barles beat Yo, and Yo was the favorite. And then Andy beat Vinchester, and Vinchester was the favorite. So both these players were underdogs in the previous set. And I think both players are underrated. And they proved that they were underrated. But now it's like, it's a tougher series to predict, right? I can see Barles turning this around, to be honest. Because the way that Andy has won these first 2 games, he's not going to be able to do in the other maps. So I need to see, I'm curious how Andy performs in some of the other settings that are to come. But damn, what a start from Andy. Can we get some choo-choos in chat right now? He's going to need it. Barles, get in the Rams, bro. Get in the Rams. Get in the Rams. All right, that's the slowest choo-choo ever. If you get in the Rams, you can kind of zoom in there. It would have been a very depressing Ram train anyways, I think, with Huskarls and Longswordsmen being added here. Yo, James, thanks, man. Thanks for the gifted subs. 5 more people can get the Ram emote now. Thank you. But yeah, Andy's held his eco advantage. Held the map there. Barles was in a situation where he needed to push big time. And now he's going to come over for this castle. I think Andy sees that, though. So, and if you lose this castle, it's not the end of the world. Look at these town centers for Andy all around the map, too. Even defensive castles. Villagers, Huskarls, everybody's going to join in here to take down the Rams. Crazy that he sends these vills, but, like, that should mean that the castle stays up. I don't know if I'm sending 20 villagers after that, because I don't want to lose my villagers. But every moment the Karambit was attacking a vill, the Huskarls were taking down the Rams. And there you go. Castle stays up. And that was an expensive army there for Barles. There are some skirms in the middle now. It's just such a painful cycle, though. Because it's like, yay, I have skirms. But I'm sure at this point, Barles knows. It's like, okay, I finally get the skirms. And then my opponent's going to be in the Imperial Age as the Goths. Can play Huskarls, can play champions, can do everything against those skirms, and then tread me down. Barles, I think, knew he was behind for a really long time there. He did everything he could to fight. Really, I think a lot of this goes back to the very start, which we kind of sped through because we were slightly behind and it's a 9-villager start. But again, if it's 3-vill start, you have to keep all your vills on food. 9-vill start, you can actually send your scout and villagers forward. And that's what Andy did. So he goes forward. He tries to block and attack the initial hunt. And then watch. Now he brings the vill. Like, that's really early on in the game. And every other time that I've seen this, the player in Barl's position is able to push in a little bit more. He only got 2. Remember, no boars, no rhinos, no elephants on the map. So, like, that really hurts your ability to get man-at-arms. So Barles couldn't do that. And, like, have all that additional food. And then, obviously, the Goths do have the hunt bonus, too, which, you know, even without it, it'd still be strong. But you have that, and your infantry's cheaper. So, that was really well executed there from Andy. All right, so game 3. We've got Bohemians for Andy. So I'm wondering, what is Andy going to do with Bohemians? Because this map incorporates water. And typically, you see a mix of water and, like, archers and skirms. Bohemians, this civilization is normally about walling up and playing mainly land. Now, I'm not trying to put any, like, massive unnecessary pressure on the host of the event or the map scripters or anything, but I mentioned this the last time I saw the map. I also gave the feedback. There can be a big discrepancy in wood on this map. So Barles has 44k wood. I think it's going to be even here. Andy's got 44k wood, so that's the same. So no real concerns. Last time it was like 20k more wood for one player. What is kind of concerning for Andy is the gold spawn. You've got a lot of golds on the front here. He doesn't have any golds on the back. And, like, Barles has this gold, and if you wall between these wood lines, could be pretty safe. Look at Andy being active with his scout. He knows there's going to be a dock eventually from Barles. And I think Barles is looking for the shorefish, and he will drop the dock. Andy has not dropped the dock yet. He has a lot on wood. Is Andy going to try some fast castle shenanigans, or is he just late? Okay, never mind. FreakinAndy. He ruined his freaking plandy, I guess. He's just late with the dock. That's really late with the dock. I'm not really sure why, but typically you want this dock to be up at a slightly faster time. It's not the end of the world, I guess. The map spawns kind of weird, so I think he expected to find the shoreline right here. Like, you see on this side, the way the water is shaped and the way the water is shaped over here. I don't think he was expecting that much land there. He does have a back stone. But I think Andy will expect man-at-arms from his opponent and probably just play into some archers. Would be my guess. At T90, skirmishers do actually give arrows to towers, but only at 4 or 3. Yeah, Thank you, Tyson, for clarifying. Yeah, I was aware of that, but I didn't want to explain the specifics. Somebody was at... I'm always torn, right? Because there's so much I want to say, and I have so little time to say it. But yes, technically, if you have a certain amount of skirmishers, it does add 1 extra arrow. But we were in the midst of battle there. Yeah, with archers, it's per archer you get the extra arrow. I think that, like, Bohemians could be really good for every... Like, the way Bohemians want to engage in AoE2, they want a map where you have a choke point, which there's a battle in one spot. And that's what this map has long-term, in the middle, near the pyramid and all the gold and the Arabian wolves. So that's good for Bohemians. What's not is they don't have any water bonuses. But if you find out where your opponent is docked, which he did, he knew the villager was over here, and you dock the other side... Maybe you can be okay. A T90, there needs to be an update where wolves will eat your sheep if they get too close. I mean, I personally would like to see how that plays out because I think that's funny. I don't think players would enjoy that, but you could script the maps around it. What about this, though? Genuine idea. So you know how there's, like, wolves around the map, right? And they attack your villagers. And now there's foxes where they don't attack your vills, but if you kill them with your vills, you get resources. What if your villager kills an animal, you actually get food from it? I mean, it's already attacking you. There's already, like, a downside. Like, then you could script maps where, like, maybe there's a strategy where you bring a couple vills, take a risk here to get food from the wolves. Actually, don't hate that. There's actually this old map called Jaguar's Den, which had a bunch of jags in the middle of it. And when the jags would attack you and you would kill them, you would eat them. I don't remember if it was intended or not, but I remember that map. All right, Barles is going big pressure here. And I mean big pressure. He's got man-at-arms. He's waiting. Andy's just sitting back. Andy's like, where's your pressure? I know you're going to go man-at-arms. I'm just going to play super safe. Now, Barles doesn't know that Andy doesn't have a gold back there. He sees this gold. He sees the main gold. He doesn't see this gold. So I think for Barles, he's convinced that Andy does have gold back there. And again, a really bad map for Andy as far as the gold's concerned, especially if he wants to wall. But in theory, you should play towards your map, right? Just realized how many fishing ships Andy has. My God. Andy is the reason why there has to be regulations on what people are doing on the water out here. Oh, he does get the gold from the whale. Oh, wow. They added whales to this. That's actually a huge game changer. You can get gold out here. Last time I saw this map, there were no whales. So, yeah, he's actually fine without gold. Andy just repairing the house. Obviously sees the archers now. Knows the villagers will be weak. And is about to hit feudal age. Barles does have a villager over here. The plan is definitely to make some navy. And Andy, very little military. The only military he has would be the starting scout. He will stonewall up this choke point because the units are going to get through. Looks like he's going to get most of the walls down in time. And he's just going to fish. But importantly, he's taking the whale. Which, considering my fiance's a marine biologist, I should point out that that whale is not proper life size. I mean, you look at the size of the marlin, and then you look at the size of the whale. Like, dude, that is one tiny whale. It's not even... It feels like the fishing ship is bigger. But anyways... It's a baby whale? Dude, a baby whale is way bigger than that. I'm pretty sure that's not even a baby whale. But anyways. I don't think you guys realize how big whales are. Especially the species that they chose. And Barles is sticking to the game plan. And I think the important thing is he also has his own fish as well. So he hasn't given up there. Oh, and he actually gets in. He runs past the town center with Woo Man-at-Arms, and these Man-at-Arms will regenerate their HP over time. Oh, that's frustrating for Andy, and Barles will see how desperate Andy is to deal with this. And we'll see a bit of Navy over here from Barles as well. He wants to put a stop to the whaling. And Andy has the eco lead because he's fished so much, but he's not set up to necessarily produce Navy here. Now, because you can garrison in your docks, you can keep some of them safe. But that's just one more thing that Andy's got to look at right now, and that's not going to be easy. Great job from Barles. This is exactly what you need to do against a defensive player like this. Hit them in multiple areas. And I think Andy still has opportunity to stabilize here. But look at his resources now, because he's got to spend wood and gold on ships, as well as having to defend from this. Luckily for Andy, he's got the stone, though, so he can still mine that. He could build some towers, maybe a castle in the near future. And the docks fire arrows, so, like, he's gonna... Like, the unfortunate thing for Barles is he's actually... Oh, as he kills the villager there. But he should lose some navy here if he's not careful. Because the docks can get those kills. On my plan for Monday is I'm recording my thoughts on the water here. Like, the new water patch and how it's been and what I like about it, what I don't like, what I'd like to see change. It's been a pretty radical change. It's time. Should be a fun video. Barles will come in with the archers. Andy thought he was walled, but he overchopped. Both players will think about Castle Age. Andy using the market to do so. Still is the archers and the skirms. Will come over and adapt. Barles actually added a fishing ship over here, which I assume was a misclick. I see no real benefit to fishing over here. He probably meant to add it on the other side. And he's doing it again. Another fishing ship's on the way. Maybe he's trying to put them in his dock so he has some, like, defensive capabilities there. Maybe that was the strat. Maybe that makes sense, because the arrows from the docks are really strong. Did you see Spirit of the Laws video on the water update? Was it an opinion? Was it, like, factual? Like, what was the basis of that? No, I didn't. Spirit and I share a lot of the same opinions, and also there are some things I differ on. I'm curious of what his take was. I really like a lot of the new water. The main thing for me, just to summarize, I'll give more specifics in the video. I don't like the arrows from docks. I think it's too strong. If you want to have arrows from docks, which I think is actually a good idea, at least make it strategic and unlock it behind a tech. I also don't think arrows from docks are actually very fun. Now that's subjective, but I don't think that adds fun to the game. I think it adds more frustration to water. So if the basis for any decisions is fun, which I think, I would factor in as a dev. That's my thought on it as well. Yeah, look, Barles literally made fishing ships to garrison them in this dock to have the weapons available, which is crazy. But it didn't work out at all, and he's going to lose the fishing ships then. And Andy's going to sneak a dock up over here. Kind of makes it look easy. Just walks over and drops a dock. Andy's got enough stone for a castle. Guys, Andy is Andy's play style is just so good against Barles. Actually, Skirmisher, you need to move, bro. You need to move. This is a castle. Freaking Skirmisher, making life all about him. There's always one guy, and that Skirmisher delaying the castle could be a game changer. There's a Jean Swordsman out here. Castle needs to complete for Andy. All right, I think it will. In the end, there's not too much happening here. Andy always plays like he doesn't really seem to care about pressure. So, that villager right there, even these villagers, I would have probably panicked a little bit more. And he's going to have the water on this side. And Barles, I don't think spotted this. I think he's so paranoid about the castle and the monks and, the land. I don't think he realizes that Andy's over here. If Andy plays full water, I mean, it's just one dock. But still, any amount of water, and Barles loses the fish, it's over. Andy just swats this pressure away like it's nothing. And again, his whole game plan is just went up to massive amounts of fishing ships because he knows it can't be punished. Because you can garrison in your docks, and you also have the arrows. You make a couple recovery ships from your multiple docks, and you're good. Whereas before, that one dock approach from Barles gets a lot more value. And here, the archers and skirmishers are just chasing this down. And I think Barles completely missed this. He straight up didn't see this dock. Obviously, he could have, but he didn't. And Andy is, I think, completely fine otherwise. These random units running around from Barles will not do much. Now Barles realizes, and now Barles will have to add some hulks. Which he can do. And he could still potentially stabilize a little bit. But you got the Bohemian player with Hussite wagons on the way, starting to think about the relics in the middle too. There's quite a few relics towards the middle area and gold there. I've seen Andy in these positions before. And considering the score line, dude is looking locked in right now. It is funny that the one prediction I chose to call out was the prediction that said that Barles would win 3-0 and that Andy would never make it to Imp. And now we've seen 2 games where Andy makes it to Imp and wins. It has been so far the exact opposite of that chatter's prediction. Oh, dude. That's so funny. I mean, I predicted 3-2 for Barles, so it's not like my predictions are looking stellar right now. And then Warships upgrade comes in for Barles. You know another detail that Andy's going to know? Is he's gonna make a transport if this game goes on, and he's gonna come over here and take the stone. That's a detail that so many players forget. With Andy, I know he's gonna factor that in. Because the stone's gonna be so nice. Barles 3 town centers back here. Now the nice thing about the Woo is they can play traction trebs. So you don't need a castle to push back like trebuchets and bombard cannons. But the bad thing is, he's probably going to be under some pressure right now. And if Andy has a lot of monks over here, Andy with monks is dangerous. He's very dangerous. 3 town centers for Barles. Resources looking set up for Imp. Castle, if you're seeing these blue dots over here, it's just random buildings from Barles. These will eventually go down. And Andy just saw that mangonel. So I think he expects the siege, and he's backing up. He's actually getting atonement. Maybe he didn't see the mangonel. Like, getting atonement to convert enemy monks doesn't make a ton of sense to me right now. Barles also has some units here on these relics, which is a nice detail. All right, well, he's going to get both, it seems. And, oh, God, Barles, careful. With the way this day is going for Barles, this is not going to be good. He needs his castle to complete. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no, dude. Oh, no. Andy's patient. Pretty patient here. There aren't monks around. There's not any additional siege from Andy either. Castle's at 50%. And never a doubt. Uh-oh. Oh, God. You got to delete that so fast. Don't give him that mangonel. Fire, then delete. Now delete. Now delete. Now delete. Now delete. Now delete. Now delete. Don't lose the mangonel. It'll turn around. Castle's at 92%. Wow, chooses to run. That's so good for Barles. It was super risky, but that's so good. Because he doesn't lose the mangonel. And he also gets the castle up and kills a couple units as well. Well played. Needs to click up to Imp. And plan on the traction trebs. Over here, Andy did clear up the units on the relics. So I think Andy will get those relics, so he'll have 4 eventually. Andy's random monk is going to his death right now. And by death, I mean life, because he survives. All right, bro. Well played. Well played. Did one of my mods just time someone out who said they think I'm the best caster ever? Message says, hey T90, I think you are the best caster ever. I can't watch games without your commentary. And one of my mods timed him out? Oh, well, it's like the 6th time they posted it in a minute. Ah. All right. Yeah, the spam. Thank you very much for the message. But if everybody who didn't get a response from me would spam that message 6 times within a minute, chat would be a very dangerous place. So that's why the mods did it. It's okay. I understand. All good. Castle here from Barles. All it took for them was being purged for it to be seen. True. Good strats. The mods helped you out, bro. The mods brought attention to your comment. The houses will be converted. Resources collected higher for Andy. He has been mining a lot. I mean, the Bohemians have both gold and stone mining upgrades free, so being heavy on stone and gold makes sense. He needs another castle, though, so he's on stone now. And also, we can't forget about the water. Barles is actually over here. Barles will defend this, and that's important because he's over here on the stone, so. Guys, stop. Guys, stop it. Stop complimenting me. It's not real. Chat, stop it. Stop posting the message. Mods, is this on me or is this on you? I don't know. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you very much. You're all so funny. Good to be live. Good to be loved, even if the love is all fake. Thank you. The monks are converting the docks from Barles. Pretty soon, Barles will have no docks. Barles losing his docks would be horrible here, because he might want to make Luchuans. I don't think he realizes. Oh my god, he's dockless now, and he has to rebuild the dock over here just so he can continue to make some boats. That's kind of funny. Andy should have chemistry now. Chemistry is a really important tech here. He does have it. So he can make bombard cannons. He's already doing so. And he's now bringing villagers over here to take this stone as well. Guys, one of my biggest frustrations is when really talented players would play this map and never take this stone. It's actually so annoying. It's such a nice detail. And some of the world's best never do it. So shout out to you, Barles and Andy, for being prepped, because this map isn't new anymore. I think that falls into the must-do category, and both players are doing that. Barles is held on. I think he'll need some patience here with the traction trebs, because you do outrange monks. Andy's really good with those monks, but traction trebs will have 14 range, and monks will only have 12. And the monks will have the 12 now. What other military are we going to see from Barles? Maybe nothing else. He's going for Sitting Tiger. Damn. Traction Trebs and Luchuan Trebuchet weapons fire additional projectiles. Some of the viewers who are currently fake complimenting me will have been here for that one game that Barles played against Doubt many months ago, where he just went for like 16 Traction Trebs and Castle Defense, and Doubt couldn't do anything. But you really have to go for a lot of them. That was at the time when there were certain people, certain players like, oh, Traction Trebs suck, right? So like everyone was complaining about them, which I didn't fully agree with, and then they got buffed because they gave them a conversion resistance. I think Traction Trebs can be really good. I don't know if Traction Trebs alone can do it, though, against Monks and Hoofnitsa. Andy's Bombard Cannons can be even stronger here, too. And Andy's got such healthy numbers right now. Over on the shoreline, there's still going to be some Navy from Andy. He's even making cannon galleons. And he's sinking a lot of damage into this castle. There's 7 relics on the map. It's 4-3 for Andy, and Andy's mining a lot more gold because of all the gold in the middle. Monk's unable to get the conversions. Actually, as I say that, one does get converted, but the Bombard Cannons are here too, and if the castle goes down, suddenly the Bombard Cannons can pressure. Oh, man. Oh, man, there's just not enough Traction Trebs, guys. It's like basically only Traction Trebs. Just now he brings in a couple skirms and fire archers, but yikes. And Andy's also still pressuring out here. Andy's plans have just worked so well against Barles today. And Barles has tried to be aggressive, but he is not... Like, for me, Barles is never... His early game micro isn't his skill set. It's his late game planning. So he opens aggressively, but it's usually just like controls the map. Against Andy, I think you need to get kills. Look at the Eco KD. Andy had the better Eco KD this game. And even just losing the Siege Workshops is brutal. Like, you can't even produce now without sending units right to their death. This could be over. FreakinAndy about to go to the quarterfinals of Warlords 5. And Barles, he'll still be in it. He had a good start beating Yo, and he'll still be in the event and everything. But this is the winner's match, and Andy's got to be in love with this result right now. Yeah, this just hurts so much because you're producing units right next to your opponent, and you're just going to instantly lose them to a conversion or to the Bombard Cannons. Yeah. Look, Barles can't even spend his resources fast enough. He's got to build Siege Workshops on the back, which takes a lot of time, and the front of his base is getting pushed in. Yeah, this is over, man. He's even losing this as well. Wow. Wow. Crazy. Crazy. There is another series after this. It'll be a very different series. We'll go from 2 fairly defensive players to 2 very aggressive players. It'll be Hera Sebastian next. Another winner's match in another group. Poor Barles. He doesn't want to resign because his resources look good, but he just can't spend his resources fast enough because he's losing his buildings so freaking fast. And Andy's even taking his time here, right? Because, like, Andy's gonna be fixing his eco and everything. Getting halbs in case there's, like, some type of switch that surprises him out of nowhere, even though that's not going to be the case. Faith! Barles is going for Faith! Guys, I'm not dissing anyone here who has Faith, but Faith is really expensive. 550 food and 750 gold. So I don't think that was his plan. I just think that, you know, you don't plan on having Faith, but life gets bad enough, sometimes you need it, you know? In-game. In Age of Empires. He needed to rely on Faith because this is not looking good. Another town center goes down. He's still relying on these Traction Trebs. Still hoping the Traction Trebs do something. Elite Hussite Wagon now on the way for Andy, because why not? You gotta have faith, guys. You gotta have faith for Barles. Barles gets swept. So as the Twitch chatter who gifted a sub to somebody here, thank you very much for that. boldly predicted. He predicted Barles was going to win this 3-0, and Andy wasn't going to make it to Imp a single time. The exact opposite happens, and Andy makes it to Imp in every game, and Andy just held on every game. I mean, he got a good lead in the mid-game every game, then took it to Imp and slowly killed off Barles. Really impressive. I'm happy with it. I feel like Andy had a really good approach on every map. I think there's a lot of maps where Andy maybe can't find this way of just like kind of like having this unique style of play, but I said at the intro, like it's weird. The maps are all very different from each other, and he just always was able to turn it into a game where he looked very comfortable. It was really impressive. And I think game 2 is actually maybe the most impressive because there it's not easy to get so much early control against the melee, and the tiny details there with the scout and the villager was really cool in Dark Age. 1.35 KD for Andy. 60k resources collected, more of every resource except stone. And obviously, if that game does continue, he still has more stone collected because he gets this stone out here, and he pretty much would deny all the stone available from Barles from here. So, beautiful play from Andy. And we'll see how he does in future games in this tourney.